nigga AI.
Niggas been living their best life this week off the AI
I
picture.
can't
Bro,
do
I've
it.
been,
Dog, but hold on. I can't, Tone. I can't let you skate all the way
oh, Tom
through.
did it?
He
No,
ain't
I ain't
do
do
it.
it.
He ain't do it, but he was damn close.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you
He
exactly
was
why I
Yeah, I
didn't
gotta
do it.
damn
log
close.
in.
Nah, hey, I'm a graphic designer. I want to use some, but I looked at them You terms want and to see what conditions. Baby Tone was gonna Nah, go. not
Hey,
Baby Tone. Nah.
my nigga said, he was like, bro, you see what it can do is it'll show you like what you could look like, so then you can strive to look better
Hey,
and
I
give
still
you
some
a
motivation. Matter of fact, Oh I yeah, ain't the gonna even. niggas was having the shirt off pic. I ain't gonna call out the
that
dude. I ain't gonna
shit.
call out who name it was, but it was somebody we was in band with. And he Yeah, I had, know his name Jimmy.
Oh yeah, you
Something like
see
that.
it.
That nigga, he said that that's motivation. He had the goddamn
He
He said I've been chubby all my life.
Hey, never seen
This,
myself like this.
hey, salute to you, bro. Like if that's what it takes and it does work.
If
But
it works.
until it works, I can let.
If it works.
Yeah, if it works, if not,
Man, read them terms and conditions, and then people sit there like, "Yeah, y'all already gave up those rights to Facebook." Nah, bruh. Read them terms and
Hey,
conditions.
and you know something funny? Jeff
oh
posted.
yeah, was
Jeff
it that they was
posted.
gonna do like child with your avatar and shit?
Hey,
Yeah, they doing
yo,
child.
hey, yo, hey,
Yeah.
yo, hey, hey. I think that'd be a good time. I think that'd be a good time to break it in. I want to say welcome back to the To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, yeah, real.
It's Q.
And we back.
Back, B.
Episode 4. We got a few of them, boy. I had
started off hot.
I had to dodge that one, boy. You're welcome.
Had to reel
Oh,
it back in.
I wasn't saying. I'm talking about what I seen the internet
I
say
had
about
to.
the
It's the
terms and
truth. That's
conditions.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, I
On
ain't
top of that,
seen
they
that.
paying $10 a week.
Oh, is that how
Oh,
much
you
it costs?
paying for
Yeah,
it?
you gotta pay for it.
Oh, y'all
You
niggas
gotta
is paying for
not
it?
only do you gotta pay for it, they can use your pictures in future technology that they
No, but
come
hold
out
on,
with.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I didn't know that they was paying for it. I thought this was something that was free. That like you was just
But you
doing.
also
Just
licensing away your face also.
say it
Yeah.
again.
You're licensing away your face.
Yeah, but hold on. But I didn't get the part that nigga was paying for it though.
Oh, anytime these like
They
the
making bread on their ass.
That's
whatchamacallit apps go
crazy. I ain't
viral,
know
like
that
the
part.
AI art shit,
Mm-hmm.
people are always paying for those pictures. Like it recent, like what was it, like a month? Like it was probably like 4 or 5 months ago that AI art had went crazy and it was people making themselves like warriors and shit like that. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, no, I saw that, but I didn't know. I thought that was
They
just
was
some
paying
free
also.
shit.
Yeah, they
No,
was.
all that is always paid.
That's crazy.
Your
We
shit
just
be-
throwing money
your shit-
away.
Well, it ain't even the money part. It's the face shit. Like,
Yeah, you just
No, I
throw
get
your
that. I
face
was just
on
it's just like one thing to the next thing. So I just started dealing with the bread first, and then the fact that you're selling your that's next level there.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, $10. You said a week?
it. Mm-hmm.
A
I
week?
don't know.
Yeah, $9.99 a week. That's what it said.
A week?
I seen that jump like this morning.
I got too good imagination for that shit, bro.
Yeah, nah, shoot.
I
My AT&T bill ain't but
visualize that shit,
$50 a
bro. I
month.
don't need a. Yeah, no, that's that's stupid, bro. Like,
I
what's
mean, there'll
the?
be some nice pictures though. I can't fraud. I've seen some nice ones.
And that's what I said. Like if you was using it for the right, like you can't get out to go get some headshots. Say you need something, you about to go get that interview at Wells Fargo for one of them upper management positions, an executive suite job. And well, I guess you wouldn't need a fucking headshot for
I
that.
could see it for like an album cover. If
But
you're a rapper and you
I'm
want to
trying to
do an
think of
album
like
cover with AI, that'd
what is
be
something that
straight.
people. Oh, my bad. It's LinkedIn. That's what I'm thinking about. LinkedIn.
Mm.
Like if you need something to update your LinkedIn because you're about to start applying for some of these C-suite jobs and shit like that. But you ain't trying to pay that $200 fee for that.
Headshot, the
Yeah, you
photo
can
shoot
go in
joint.
there. You can goddamn put a regular suit. Niggas be having the Fendi suits on. The goddamn I drive a Maserati suit.
Mm.
But if you could probably I
Nobody
don't know the
should drive a
settings.
Maserati.
You said
Hey,
what?
Nobody should drive a Maserati.
Oh, they shouldn't.
No.
hey,
Just
Photoshop
it's
actually
probably
got that
like the
stuff in there now.
most unreliable car out there.
It's pretty bad.
It's very bad. Looks good though. It's you look at the the videos on YouTube, they'll say like the top 10 cars to make it look like you're doing better than you are, and Maserati's on the list
It's always on the
because
list.
it's cheap. It's like it's super
It's
depreciated.
cheaper, yeah.
It's the
The
super
used
Oh,
one.
like so,
depreciated.
like it costs cheaper, or it just is a cheaper car.
It's both.
It lose value
Oh, so
very
that's the
fast.
cheapest of like the Ferraris and all of them.
Way
It's not
cheaper.
a
It's not
Ferrari.
nothing close. It's literally like a
So
$20,000 car that you can buy used that makes you
so
look
wait, how
like
much is the
you.
Maserati cost? How much can you get a
You
Maserati?
can get a Maserati about 20 grand.
The
Really?
new one, they probably
I'm
start
talking about
about.
used. I'm talking about used
A
Maserati.
used like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and what year are you talking about?
I don't know the year, but a used one, you can get one that ain't nobody gonna know what year it is.
They
That's the
probably
thing.
go from like 80 to 120. They not like Lambos be like 200, 300.
No, hold on. We
Okay,
talking
I'm
about
talking
So
about like
200
that's a
grand.
big ass
I'm
jump
talking
that
about
y'all
like
just said.
brand new. We
Oh, he's talking
talking
about brand new.
like
I'm
brand
talking
new
about
Bro, a
used
cars.
car shit.
used Maserati for 20?
Yeah, 2020. You can get
Ain't
one for
that like
20,
like you
25.
get like a any
Yeah,
sedan for about 20 used.
Shit,
yeah.
them
So you're
Subarus go
saying
for more than
Hold
that.
that
on, I'm gonna
can't be
pull it up
true.
right here. I'm gonna show
Okay,
you.
I'm about to say,
What is it? It's the Ghibli. What's the Ghibli?
Jubilee or whatever. Like I don't
Yeah,
know how to say
yeah,
that shit, but
we're
yeah.
going a tangent. All right.
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm gonna show you though. Go ahead. We can keep it pushing.
But
There you go. 23,999. A
what year?
2018 Maserati Ghibli 3.0 liter. 23,999 with
Where's
69,000
it at?
on Car Gurus. It's in Gastonia.
Damn.
15 miles from
Don't
the
get no
hood.
car from Gastonia. Don't get no car.
And it says
Real shit.
great deal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's 4,000 below market value.
It's gonna cost you a
Well,
little bit.
fellas, you hear that? If you would like to impress the Insta thoughts at the club smoking hookah,
Facts.
buy you a $27,000 Maserati from
23.
$23,000 Maserati
Maserati
from
from
Gastonia.
Gastonia. Yep.
Valet park that motherfucker
And
too.
valet park it. You can get out. You can also rent a nice suit so you can come out looking like your AI pictures. There we go.
And on that note, we'll go ahead and land the plane.
So I got a question. Recently diversity has been like a really really big hot topic, and the importance of it, especially with the most recent ruling when it comes down to affirmative action. We kind of hit on that a little bit a week or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of led me to think in a couple different like ways, and we can speak about a diversity of thought. B, we could,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, well, A, diversity as in like ethnic, race, um, culture. B, we could talk diversity of thought, and its importance and its impact uh, on just a bunch of like just all the sectors of society. Well, I'll keep it as broad at the moment, and then we can kind of silo. We got about 29 minutes to get into the weeds of it. How y'all feel? Diversity, importance.
I'd say that I think the diversity of thought is probably like one of the ones that I feel is a big conversation piece. For me, I understand that generally when we think diversity, we're speaking of like race and stuff like that. But I think for me, the diversity of thought, because I think that we naturally attract people that are more like us than not like us. So you end up having these subsets of groups of even within each community, you're gonna have these subsets of people who have common, like a common mindset. And so I think that having a diversity of thought, and then actually we always talk about how the black community is like a monolith. We think as a monolith and move as a monolith. And if you go outside of that, then they start questioning your black hood or your black card and all this stuff.
Hmm.
I think that we should definitely welcome diversity of thought because I mean that the thing for me is that like having a biased opinion of your opinion to me is just like literally one of the weakest mindsets to have and to allow additional mindset or additional ideas to be presented to you and actually thinking of each idea um, in a way that where you're actually trying to get something out of it, not already trying to think of your defense to something, but actually allowing someone to present the material and an idea to you in a way that you are how do you want to say what's the word Kevin used in good faith, just allowing the conversations and trying to build your opinion after actually understanding what it is that's being presented. I think that that's just like a very good trait in people in general. Just having that trait is a very important trait. And so that's to me, I think that the diversity of thought is the more important than like just say,
But
oh,
what
we're
is your
gonna put
take
a
on like I do want to get your take on like diversity.
of race.
Yes, and its importance, whether we talk in school, neighborhood,
Mm.
and its impact on society.
I think that the diversity of school is a good thing. I think that each piece kind of is different. I'm not 100% sure about like the community idea, like living in a diverse community. I don't really know. Um, well, I'll just speak specifically to like school. I definitely think in school diversity is very, especially if you actually have real diversity in the school where you can have to get to know other cultures and be able to see other cultures and the way different people communicate to one another, and just so that you don't have, so that you're not still running with this preconceived notion about a certain culture or race of people. I think it's very important that you are able to be around and in close proximity in certain areas of living, um, to see exactly how these communities, I guess, how they move. And it's like what my specific scenario is like being around Hispanics a good bit. I can see that there is a level of community which we don't, in my mind, I don't see a lot of community in our society. But I am able to see it with them being in close proximity to Hispanics because I can see their community, and it's definitely very inspirational to me. Something I aspire to, if we can one day get to something that's close to that. I believe that that is productive. So I would say that in areas of like schooling, and I guess I will say in the neighborhood because I just gave an example of it being beneficial to me. So I would say that yeah, just in general, I at this point as I can spoke or talked through my opinion, I would say that I believe that it's pretty important.
I think, I mean, just based on my experience, I grew up in Rock Hill. I mean, I grew up going around school around
Them
predominantly
boys,
them boys, but we had Hispanic, Asian, Indian, like we had just everybody. So
rifle racks.
I see the importance of diversity of people or like that. It leads to the diversity of thought. Being able to be around different cultures and stuff,
Mm.
it's going to influence the way you think. If you have that perspective on other people, you'll be able to understand and see things from their way of thinking. So I think that does help politically. I think, and what I was speaking on earlier, where I said, when it comes to like voting, I think diversity of direction can be bad because you can only go one way. So I think as people,
You
if
can
we,
only go one way. What does that mean?
I mean, like as there has to be a goal. Like I think what makes a community is everybody having one goal, like kind of one vision to everybody aspire to. So I think there has to be something that unites
That's what
us
makes
as
a
people.
community.
To me, I think it did. I mean, everything else is
Or
different.
maybe you're using like community really, really broadly and not like. All right,
I'm
go ahead.
speaking.
Keep going. My bad. I'll let you keep going.
I am speaking more like a national, like as
Mm.
Americans. There has to be some vision or something that we see of why it all makes sense.
Mm.
Because diversity at some point can be a bad thing if it's too diverse,
Uh,
and that's what I'm more speaking on. Like you can only go one way. You can't everybody can't be right. If everybody's talking, everybody got a voice. There's some people that's gonna have to
You
bow
think that's
down.
the real?
I
My
don't know.
bad. I didn't want to cut you off. But
Well, no, that's basically.
you think that's like a realistic perspective? Like, you think that at any point in at any time, everybody's ever going to go any one way? I think that's kind of what like most wars, most people leaving countries to come
Mm-hmm.
over to this country, what this country in itself is founded off of.
Right.
Like the ability not to do that thing that you're saying.
Yeah, no, I
Because
agree.
what it's like what you're speaking to is the word monolith. Is that like we're trying to like to move forward? I don't know if you're speaking as a country, as like a community, a black community. Like we have to silo ourselves into some level of a monolith. That's what it sounded like you was kind of going to.
No, but no, I mean I get where, and this is where it's a nuanced thing because yeah, I agree. If everybody thinks the same thing, it is nuanced. But if everybody thinks they're right and there's no authority, there's no law. At some point, when does the diversity become anarchy, or when does like everybody just doing their own thing?
Hmm.
When is too much too much? Like when is it supposed to be a community, or when is it just gonna be these people working towards one goal? And that's my only thing. It's too much.
Is and I'm just going to ask: is the idea like the American dream? Is that like an idea of where you would say people were thinking in the monolith? Like we are all trying to get this
Space,
American
yeah,
dream.
yeah.
Okay, well then
Like
that I guess that's different. As
Yeah,
long as
because
like
the
it's
American
something like
dream means
extremely
different to different people.
because
But I
like
see.
freedom then would be like one of those words or something like that.
Is
right,
that what you're
yeah.
saying? Oh, okay, okay.
Like the principle, it has to be on principle.
I
Like
see.
and certain, like we all have the same principles.
So do you think that we're America, like in general, people in American society isn't pushing for like whether it's the American dream or some level of freedom? I don't think that that's where we really have an issue at. I think that if anything, the push like diversity of thought and a group pushing their specific perspective to the masses as that is right is what we kind of run into the biggest problem right now today. And we can look at a bunch of like different individual communities that are exercising that, and that's where like right now we're inside this weird time where nobody knows what words to use, how to address people, how to like what is actually
But don't you
correct
think that
inside.
that kind of leans to what he was saying? Because the reason that nobody is because everybody's trying to do everything. So if you actually have a more of a placement of a, let's say we stood on values that we define these values and we all move with these values the same way. Is that what you're speaking
But
of?
what values would those be? So for me, I think that all those movements come out of the fact of being constrained and restrained, where typically the oppressed becomes the oppressor, and they're just doing what they seen done. So if we take, we'll just use the feminist movement for example. Like their movement came out of a necessity for women to kind of like have a voice at some level. But what it ended up happening inside today's time has become exacerbated to like some extreme shit. In which now their voice, they're trying to make that the dominant dictation instead of like actual diversity, where like we can all think whatever way we want to, do whatever we want, as long as we're not infringing on somebody else. That to me, like when we go really broad, where that's freedom, that's like the American dream. That's like everybody wants to be able to operate inside autonomous systems in which, like, as long as I can live my life freely, cool. I think that that's like the best version of diversity. When you start infringing and making everybody have to think away, now it's eliminating diversity of thought.
What about yeah, nah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And but what about where it's okay, so let's say that there's a subset of community that believes strongly in whatever it is that they believe and it goes against the popular thought, right? And then they begin to and I guess what we'll talk and I don't
Like
want to
it'll be like, does it
specifically
infringe
to it.
on your freedoms or cause bodily harm?
Okay, that's what you're saying. Does it infringe on
Yeah,
your freedom of
like I think that we've
bodily
all
harm?
been on here and said that we don't really believe in censoring people like that,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're not for cancel culture. If anything, I'd rather like that person say whatever, so I know exactly what you're saying. As long as what you're saying isn't impacting me, because that shit gonna be there anyway, and it's gonna fester. And I'd rather like bad ideas be put forth and like cut down and chopped down,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like hiding it over in a corner where they don't have to get challenged ever. And then
Mm-hmm.
like you could just speak into an echo chamber, and then that builds itself up to be like
Right,
some
right.
fucking guy walking into Walmart and shooting a bunch of
Clan
people.
shit, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. So you actually haven't given, or is that is your stance
Well,
on it?
yeah, I gave my, I guess that was my opinion on diversity of thought. I think diversity in itself, I think it's cool. Like I have a back and forth opinion, even if we go like affirmative action. But in general, I do think diversity inside across the board is good because it humanizes all humans to everybody.
Hmm.
Where you start noticing, oh, like this said race. I ain't even got to go down like different little tropes and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Is exactly the same
Like
as me.
me. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you goofy or you funny or you dumb or you like whatever said thing is. Like we're all really
yeah.
the
Human.
same for the most part. I would say that I don't care about affirmative action per se. Like that's not like my thing that to super care about. Because of yeah, I don't know. I don't mind not going places that I'm not wanted either.
Hmm.
But I would say diversity in the workplace has shown statistically that people working with different diverse groups of racial, socioeconomics, they come up with more creative solutions
As
to
long as it's
problems.
not the illusion of
Oh, right.
diversity, which I think a lot of these companies that have been
Yeah.
around for a long time, that they just like the words. It sound good. So they just
Hmm.
regurgitate it and put it on walls and shit. And it's there's literally no implementation at all. You're just
Hmm.
still doing the same thing you was doing before. And you maybe you're hiring more of these people, but you're keeping them somewhere where you know what I mean, where they're
They're
all
very
together.
specific. The call center boys and girls.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. When you people here, you can just go up the floors, get off the elevator on each floor, you know exactly who's who resides in these
The
areas.
mail room.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna
The
say
mail room
also
bulls.
a lot of that too. You gotta be yeah, them boy. That's funny. But now I was gonna say you gotta watch out too. A lot of time, like diversity, a lot of time they'll just put up like parrot heads. You know, they'll just put up a black person that don't
Oh, for sure.
necessarily represent anything to deal with us as a black community, but he look a certain way, so he checked that
That's
quota.
where I was gonna go. As
And so
you just triggered it for me. I'm sorry.
that's another like thing you gotta watch out with like diversity is sometimes it's not like you say it's
The
not true
illusion. Yeah.
diversity. It's just
Yeah.
they putting up a front or like they putting up somebody who's gonna say everything they want to say or just regurgitate all their facts who ain't really speaking for anybody else. And so you got that's one thing with diversity. I would say watch out for.
And that's why I said I think that true diversity is important, and not like the affirmative action version of it. Like, I think we reacted to a clip of some anchor, and she was talking about how when she went to class, even though her scores and everything was higher than her white counterparts. The white counterparts who just got in because their name was on the building, they was holding meetings saying that she shouldn't be here. She's only an affirmative action X, Y, and Z. In which, like, if we're talking true diversity, where like you take everything away, and I'm here for a reason, and that can't be questioned. I think that's the thing. I like to say, coming soon, we're gonna have the Tone Cam.
The only
But
thing
Tone
is
got
too.
something he want to get off real quick.
Okay, I was gonna
Now,
say.
I was just about to go right in on what Johnny was saying. Like basically, like with coming into the situation where you have the black figure that's put in charge or whatever, but they're not really looking out for black people's views. Is the black community not a diversified community in itself?
Yes.
Or I would say even most of our communities are diversified. So I think, like I said in the live show, I think like trying to diversify based off of race is where there is an issue, just based off of race and everything. People have different ideologies. I think we should be looking more so at what are people's ideologies and what are they thinking and diversifying in that way.
Yeah, I think and I can see validity in everything you're saying. I think that it's tough as a community because of what we've been taught and the way we've been taught to actually to completely, let's say, to completely understand or accept an idea such as that, to be so diverse, because a lot of the things that we hear, we're looking for something specific for us. When we talk about reparations, when we talk about, you know what I mean, it's literally we're looking for things that are specifically for us. So then to go in and talk about the idea that, I say again.
Oh no, I was just talking to myself. My bad.
You said reparations that triggered him. It did. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was. Go ahead.
No, but and I'm not, and honestly, and I say that because I'm speaking even for myself to like to completely step outside of the idea of blackness and to look at it as, or let's not say black people. We're just gonna just match up to one another based on ideals, which I can understand the benefits that could possibly be of that, but that I still stand in the idea that the black community is still the black community, and I think that things specific to the black community
Or some
are
specific
needed,
things.
and there's some specific things that we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Aside from all of that diversity shit.
So might as well turn it up a little bit. So Tone, I guess I'll ask you this question because it seems like you have like a stronger opinion towards this. Do you think that it's time for the black community to drop the race?
I think it's time for us to stop calling ourselves black.
Uh-oh.
But
You
that's
heard
another
it? Did you hear
conversation.
that?
No,
I
I'm just
said
here to
black.
listen now.
Black.
Yeah, I mean, like
Here we go.
black is a color. It's not a nationality.
Facts.
I don't see how we
Or the
gonna,
lack of color.
yeah, it's or the lack of color. But either way, I don't see how we are just so coy with being called something, and we can't you can't demand anything under knowing rights. You can't demand anything under the name black. Like that's not a nationality. We don't even have a flag for black people, so it's not a nationality.
I don't know. I guess is this kind of like a I don't know. I don't know if this is the word game or not, but because white people don't have a flag,
Right.
and you can't demand anything under white.
You
But,
know the
but we
crazy
know
thing?
we know what countries they come from though. So white people, when you talk to white people, they be like, yeah, my family's from Europe or
Oh,
my
they
family's
know
from
where they
France.
come from.
They know where they come from.
Well,
Yeah,
I
so
agree with that,
they
but
have
I was
flags
just
and
saying like you was
excuse.
using like a term to describe this, which doesn't apply to anybody else. Because we call white people. We call black people black people.
I mean,
and-
well,
go ahead.
we call white people still have the name Caucasian, which I think is considered a nationality. I'm not
Is
sure.
that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
there
I
might
don't
be-
think
not a
that's
So
country.
yeah,
yeah.
we should check that out. I ain't gonna sit there and
Yeah,
dog on
What
speak
did you
something.
say, Johnny? You said
It's not a country.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
Yeah.
it's not a
Like the
nationality either.
nationality would have to be tied
But
to
either
it.
way,
Okay.
like I said,
Yeah.
we know where they know where they came from, or
I
they
agree
know
with
where
this
their
part.
lineages are from, and they, like for the most part, they'll tell you, yeah, I'm Scottish, or I'm Irish, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
European, or I'm
Like,
French. Like we don't know that. We just calling ourselves black.
It's because we're Americans.
I
That's
mean,
where we.
even that would be a better guise to go under. But a lot of black,
That's what we are.
a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
that's. I mean,
so-called
I
black
get
people
what he's
don't look at
saying too, though.
themselves as Americans, though.
But that's what we are.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, ain't none of us been to Africa,
Mm.
so why would I say I'm an African American? I mean, black. I'm a black, but
And
I'm
even
more
African
American
American,
than I am anything else. Like black, yeah. I mean, if you want to use that, but I mean, there's a lot of different versions of black that don't necessarily apply to like what I
well, we
am.
use
Like,
ADOS, right? Well, I guess
well, ADOS,
that's
yeah,
like the most
or
accurate.
foundational Black
Yeah, the
Americans
most
or whatever.
accurate one to me is ADOS.
But so, but that's American. This is all. It's American, and so black or the version
Even
of
though I
black
guess I
that
don't like to put. Well, go ahead.
with the version of black that we know, we talking about American. Like we ain't talking about
Mm-hmm.
like Dominican Republic or any of the Afro Latinas or anything in Africa. We talking about
Jamaican.
Jamaican, Haitian,
Caribbean.
any of that. We talking about Black American, and so
Mm.
okay. So let
when
me
I
ask you
when
this.
I was talking about earlier about like American like ideals, it should be like that's what we are, and that's like we should put that on the forefront, and that's something I
So
think
black
everybody.
people should drop the race shit and just be America.
I mean, kind yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with Tone. Like, I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean,
Turn it up.
it's only like holding us back if it's only a victim thing.
Mm.
You know, being black is being a victim, then why would I?
What you think, bro?
No, I was thinking. I understand what he's saying. It's almost
Yeah.
like It's almost like holding on to black until we possibly get something, and then going on to the other side, to this
Mhm.
American thing. So, and I'm not saying that
Well,
you.
I get
Do
that.
you see what I'm
You
saying?
said
Well,
Because
because
if
you
they're gonna.
said we should,
No, I
or
didn't
is
say we
that's what
should.
we're
It's just
doing?
an idea.
we
Just when
need
he said it, that's kind of like what
they
popped into
owe
my
us
head.
something for being black.
Exactly. Like it's
Like they
funny
owe
because
us
like
something.
get that and then
You're right.
go. But I'm
Become
not saying that
American.
that's the answer. I'm
But
just saying that
I
that's
feel
the
that
first thing
though.
that
I
came to
feel
my
that
head.
because there's things that like there are struggles and things that are uniquely black American,
Yeah.
and that we haven't been properly what's it called recuperated. You know they ain't paid us back for it. They owe us, and so that's the only thing where I would say no is because
Those-
we gotta get that check. Anything outside of that
So we just
check.
so you just flipped your answer.
No, I'm saying anything outside of that check.
I just brought out. It's just
You flipped them, bro.
another
It's a
idea.
nuance. Nah,
It's a nuance. It's a
it's a
nuance.
nuance.
So
Yeah.
what you saying is that keep the black shit until we get a check and then be American.
Yep.
Think about
Yeah.
it. No, but you think about
All
this
that
though.
sounds
Think
crazy to
about
me.
this though.
That would
I'm not saying that this is the answer. That was just
I'm
something
also
that
saying
popped in
like
my head. But
it's
my
kind of
thing,
tap out that reparation conversation. But go ahead.
but my damn, you did fuck that.
I'm not a real big proponent to like that reparations conversation, but I also think that maybe I'm tripping, but it's a weird concept to tell black people to drop the Black Act when no other like group has to drop their act or drop their ethnicity or their background or their culture at all. I don't know of anybody else that ever gets like that thing pushed to them.
We're not
Yeah, but
dropping the
I'm
culture. We just
just about
dropping
to
Yeah,
say.
the
All right, so
description of it. We're not saying don't like.
okay, so so instead of being black, we're just going to be like just American.
We just
And even
Aboriginal.
though everybody else is still referred to them are referred as a different thing, in which like the reality is that everybody is literally categorized
so
still.
what would be the benefit of keep
Well,
on calling ourselves black?
because that's what we are. Like whether you want to use like a different
Or
term
is that
and
well?
move
You
and
can
like
say that's what we
because
are, but
like
Mm-hmm.
well,
so like this is
It's
where
just a term though. We're
oh
That
very
we was
shit.
like
given.
All right, so here we go. All right, so maybe I want to make sure I get away from like the etymology thing, right? Where we're going to be called a term. Say whatever term is. If y'all are arguing that let's change black to silver. Okay, whatever. Regardless, if we're called silver and identify as silver,
well, I think that the thing that they're talking about is being called being just the idea of being called. Well, I mean, if they even do black and brown, where you would see them including the
no,
Hispanics and
cool.
the
My thing is that we're not going to escape being like the people of like the American descendants of slavery are going to be grouped in a specific,
regardless.
and it's going to be called something.
Yeah.
We're not going to run from that.
And then the thing is, even
And
if we
like, so
do,
whatever the term is,
well, I
like,
guess
it
is
don't
what he's
really
saying.
matter.
What he's saying is then it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily doing away with the black part. It's just because we don't know, like you
Let's
said, the
put
Caucasian can
different.
say I'm Irish, and because we don't have that, it's like, okay, so do we?
We're gonna be
We're gonna
anonymous.
we'll be, but we would have to say American. We would have to say American,
But that's why they say African American, I guess. I don't know.
and that's what I was going to say.
Well,
That's
like
what I was
black
saying.
is
Is that
typically like when people say black, it identifies as black. I mean,
African American?
Americans that were born in,
But you know
Africans that were born in America.
they do say is it black or African American that they put in that same when you're trying to select your ethnicity? Is
Something
it
like
black
that.
or African American?
Even with that, African American signifies dual citizenship. Like, and that's one of the things
Is
I don't
that
have
what
to
being
learn about.
Irish American means? Like, I think that like a lot of
That's dual
the people
citizenship.
that say that they're Irish, they don't have dual citizenship. Like whose parents, like Kevin, he doesn't have dual citizenship to Ireland.
But paperwork wise, I'm pretty sure that's considered dual citizenship. But we can look that up later.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. As I get what you're saying, African American, but where else would you? I guess we are the only peoples that you would hear like the two
No,
put
we'll
together.
call them white people, or we call them Hispanics, or we call them Asians.
Well, I
Like
mean,
everybody's still
even if
grouped
they
inside
still,
a very specific group when we refer to them.
what I'm saying, and I guess it all boils down to the fact that we just don't know where we come from.
We don't know where you come from. Asian.
And
Right.
that's
So
what,
my thing
but
is
it
like,
doesn't help anything for us to drop. I understand what you're saying. It doesn't help anything for us to drop black because it doesn't then define where we come from. It just literally just changes the word.
I think it's more so about
right, and that's what I'm saying.
paperwork
Like all
thing,
we're
too.
doing is just interchanging a different word. If we
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
use like more or whatever, like I don't fucking know. Like whatever word we want to use, Amazon. There we go. I'm gonna just make it something random. Like it's still going to speak about and be referred to the
So
exact
the
same
same
group of people,
people,
which
yeah,
is
Okay,
the
so
people
so
that
word
are a
game.
product of slaves,
So what I
come
will
from
say
the
though
slave,
is
yeah.
the thing
What's the
about
slavery?
going under a color when you go to fill out paperwork though, that's not the same. Like basically all of this stuff comes down to paperwork. That's what all of this is about. Paperwork and flags. Like we're not able to ask for stuff because of the title that we choose to go under. Like we didn't really choose it. We was
But I'm
given this
saying,
title black.
but what I'm saying, do you really believe that though? Do you believe that like if there was a benefit that America could give to the people who are descendants of slavery, that the title black would then disallow or make it so that we wouldn't be provided whatever that benefit that they would see?
Unless we just all got together and we did the paperwork to make black a doggone name, like an actual nationality.
So you're saying that
In
you
that
believe
case,
that?
yeah, but all of this still goes to like Black Laws Dictionary and all of this stuff connects back. So these words have meaning.
Meaning,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. So us being called, like if you hear about the black people in China, it's not referring to people who have our skin color. The black people to China are the people who was born out of the one child rule. If you was an extra child, you're considered a black child. You're not even allowed to stay with your family. You're pretty much on the outskirts. You don't have any rights. You're non-existent considered to them. So you survive however you survive. You're non-existent as far as they're concerned.
so you just don't like the literal word black. And if we just change that to be
Well, I mean, I do think. I mean, at the end of the
caramel
day,
skin.
at the end of the day, I won't.
Caramel.
Nah, you try to make it like some ignorant shit. I ain't going
No, I
that
mean I
far.
think that we
Because at the
like
end of the
above
day,
anything,
it's still,
caramel probably
yeah,
does best describe what like most of us are.
yeah, no, I get that.
Well,
I
for
get
one,
that.
I think we need to stop going by our skin tone. Like that's the same way we sit there and look at somebody who's a European, that's a colored
We call them
European.
white.
Like we
Yeah, but I mean,
Hey,
no,
hold
I'm
on.
talking about if somebody like they're a black European, there are people who are in Europe that are our color that are from Europe. They literally from Europe. So
Yeah.
they come over here and we still looking at them like they black people. That's the thing.
I got a
Like
question.
that would be true too.
And then we can figure out where we go from there. But my question is, if outside of our skin color, what is it that makes us Black Americans? Like what is it about the
I would
culture?
assume it's
shared
literally the
history.
descendant of slavery, descendants of slavery,
It's a shared history
the shared history. Yeah.
that dates back to a very specific point.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have our culture derives from pretty much that. A piece of our culture is
Is
not knowing
where we from?
where
Yeah,
we're from. Like
that is a piece
there's
of
a
our
bunch
culture.
of things that leads itself up to the exact thing.
Yeah. I see, and that's why I just want to make sure because I don't feel like anything Tone was saying because I've heard, the Black Laws Dictionary, and then the power and the usage of words in the context in which we may use them very loosely, but there's actually it means something more to the powers that be, and I don't want to try to act like that's like a laughable topic. I think that there was a good discussion to be had on both sides of that. You know what I mean? It's not
Say
like
what?
a clear answer to which one is the better, in my opinion. I
Which
don't
one
think
is the best?
Well, I
Like,
think it.
what do
I
you?
think it's a
What are
the
your
idea
what
of
is the
saying
opposing?
black or
perspective.
changing it to American or
But
using
I guess I just have a really strong opinion on that because just saying we're American means absolutely nothing, and there's nobody else that's just American.
but that's because they know where they come from.
Cool. And so what I'm saying is that if we're just saying we want to get away from the word black and that's why I said Amazon or Carmel, like
I think
we still are going
Aborigine is
to
pretty
have
good.
something that literally defines us as a
I
people.
think Aborigine is pretty good because it's
But
saying
Aboriginals
we
speak
from
to
here.
that
But I
term
mean,
is already
but
taken
part
and
of the
it
thing
means
that
a very specific
I
thing.
was gonna say,
Like
part.
the Aboriginals of India, the Aboriginals of Australia, it's a very, very specific definition to that.
I mean, and I'll leave it here. Because I think there's merit on both
Mm-hmm.
sides.
That's the only thing I was
Um,
saying.
I'm not just. I mean, I might wake up
That
tomorrow
don't
and
even make
feel
sense.
different. But the thing about black people that here that ties us together is that we are all in America. We all Americans, and that's I think one of the
So
biggest
let's be the
things.
only group that deletes like our self identity of
I don't.
something.
I think most people consider themselves Americans. Them Irish
Oh
people that
no, for
came
sure.
over
But
here,
they're
they
also
don't. They don't
white people. They're also like we refer like why are we like pretending like we don't refer to people like all in white folk are called white folk.
Just what, but it's really just
Like,
it's literally just white folk though. It's
no,
white
we call
folk and
like
black
the Asians,
people.
the Chinese.
Yeah,
they
but
Like,
they're
don't know
not
the
that.
called of
Asians.
color though. It's what I'm saying is that we're white people
Oh, you
pretty
will
much
say yellow
white
if you're
people
part.
came with the idea of the white black. They created the whole identity for themselves because it's different when you know where you come from and you're gonna call we're
Okay,
just as a collective gonna say we're this, but then we're gonna call all of you motherfuckers this.
gotcha. All right, this
So
gets back into that that conversation.
uh,
So I just want to make sure that I understand. So the answer to this is just using a different term.
no, the thing is that I didn't say that I had an
We ain't
answer.
even come to
You're
an
trying to
answer.
have an answer.
No,
What I'm
no.
saying is that I don't have
So
an
what are y'all
answer.
trying to
There's merit
do?
on both sides.
No, but what I guess I'm trying to understand. So are we just dropping uh black and just using American, or are we trying to find another term? Because like those are the two things that y'all are presenting, and I'm trying to understand what the answer to this. Like
Yeah, you're trying to
where we
find an
looking to go?
answer.
I
That's
guess
the
maybe
difference.
it'd be better if I'm
We're
asking Tone.
exploring ideas, and you're trying to find an answer. That's the difference.
Cause I don't know. I mean,
Because I don't have the answer.
Hey,
But
well,
it would have to be between those two things, right?
not
Like
all.
those are the two
Not
options.
technically.
hey,
It might
to the
be.
to be fair
Like what else
audience,
would
It
you?
might be
Yeah,
something
let's
else.
I
audience.
to the
What
to
y'all
be
think?
fair audience, y'all heard it all. We done broke it down. Y'all leave it in the comments what y'all think on this topic.
Please do that. We
Yeah,
appreciate
we
it.
done made this nigga mad, bro.
Oh no, I ain't. Oh yeah,
I
you
actually
know
loved
that.
it. When he
You
get heated, then he go over there. Then he go. Whatever
Oh
you
no,
said doesn't
I
make
just been
sense.
talking to Tone. That was it.
Whatever you
Is that, like
said.
Tone has a more like concrete like way that he thinks about this to where like if I'm asking Tone that question, Tone to give me like an actual like perspective in which he feels.
Oh yeah, we'll finish this conversation up
And
after
that's a great way to
later on.
leave it.
That's it, Jody.
That's it. Yeah, we'll move on. Get on to some more subjects. We'll land the plane there.
All right, fellas. So I got a question for the week. Let's see. So, the question I have is, how has your hygiene changed over as you've gotten older, and what are some things that you saw or heard that you may be thinking about implementing to your hygiene as an adult man? As we know that transition from being young, you know what I mean. Once your mom's no longer lotion giving you putting the lotion on you, you know what I mean. You get to a point to where, especially in the hood, it was almost like you pretty. You know what I mean. So you stand so far away from being called pretty that you wasn't taking care of yourself at all, and then you growing up, you know what I mean, as you get to that age of manhood where it's like you know that this is no longer a an option. You don't have an option of not taking care of yourself. You're becoming more inquisitive of the things
Oh
that you
yeah.
can do to get better with your hygiene. So what would be if you can think of something that you know that you kind of shifted into in your adulthood, and then maybe something that you kind of been looking at.
Putting lotion on your legs when you wear jeans.
Right. I
You
seen
know,
a
yo.
post. Hey, I saw a post. This was about a
Hey,
year
when you get
ago.
older, your feet get ashy, bro.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
bad.
That
yeah.
shit don't be going
No, my feet always was ashy. Bad. Bad. Y'all niggas whack. Y'all
We
wild.
might got an
No,
episode
ain't no
with your feet
goddamn.
in the episode if
I don't
I
never
remember
have my toes out.
correctly.
I don't never have my toes out. So ain't no episode that show the feet, my
No,
boy.
I'm cool
But
on that piece myself.
but
Yeah, no,
so you trying to tell me them like fresh out the shower with no lotion, them toes wasn't getting ashy?
I'm saying they stay ashy now. Like I mean, like
Oh, you can sweat it out
it's a
before.
little different. Like when you get older, it's like you gotta like almost get your feet done and shit like that. Like
So
take care of
I
your.
went and got my feet done with nine, and I'm gonna have to tell that lady, bro, you been picking my goddamn toes too hard, bro. I guess that's like the cuticle, I guess they call it, bro. She
Chop
be
that
digging in my
motherfucker.
goddamn, bro. I'm gonna need you to lay off my shits, bro. You actually like feel like you peeling my joint back, and I don't like it. It hurt.
Yeah, no, they cut too much
But
off the toenail, bro. That shit like
yeah.
it should be folded.
Oh, then the toe, yeah, bro.
Yeah, nah, you gotta watch out for
And
that.
that's one thing I would say that like I ain't going as far as you've been seeing the famous dudes. I like the R&B Money podcast. Tank be getting his nails painted and stuff. I'm not going that far, but I will say,
You be watching niggas that paint their nails.
as a man, if you haven't cut your fingernails back or your toenails back too far enough times, like it's time to make an adjustment, bro. You've done it too many times. I've done it too many times.
Yeah, no, I
And
know.
if your tax bracket permits, I would say don't let them peel your damn cuticles like that Asian lady was doing me. And like, where's the black nail joint at? We got one?
I ain't going.
Oh,
We don't have one. Oh, so that's probably the way. I ain't trying to pull up to your house just to get my doggone nails, toenails. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's an option. But yeah, I know I done cut my nails back too many times.
But no, that's
I'm
one.
about fed up.
That's one that like it's important. Like the fingernails, the manicures, and like you ain't gotta paint your shits,
Mm,
but like people pay attention to your hands.
yeah.
You know, so I mean, you ain't gotta paint them. You ain't gotta go, Drake a little yachty and nothing and go
Yeah.
with a color. But
I'm
just
cool on the clear coat, John. I ain't even doing that, bro.
they ain't got no clear coat, but they can. I mean, you
Bro,
gotta
y'all
take
not
But
care of
what
them
talking.
is something
shits.
that you? What is something that you? Was that it? That the nails was something that you would
No, it's something I haven't done, but I've,
want to
probably
get
it's
into?
something probably I need to start. Cause like you say, cutting the nails and shit over time, that shit just,
You done peeled them back too far
yeah,
plenty
them
of times.
cuticles be going crazy,
But I think
bro.
my pinky toe on my right foot is just indefinitely fucked up from me cutting it back too far. Like I don't know what the remedy for it is
Oh
at this
yeah,
point.
I used to cut them jinx fully off.
Yeah,
Like
you cut it all the way
whole
back.
pinky.
Yeah,
That
and
pinky nail will
as a
pop off.
man, bro, we be doing some funny stuff. So, what is something that you did when you were younger that you had to get used to doing as a man, like something that you had to switch up?
Like change.
Yeah, or
Uh,
start doing.
well, here's one. Over time, like I say, your body change, and so different stuff like washing my face and stuff.
Mm,
I have to change, products because I think sometimes my face will get used to like a product, or
mm.
sometimes I don't know what it is, but sometimes shit just quit working. And over time, and it's something that just periods. You gotta adjust. You gotta work on that. The older I get, the more I sweat recently. I don't know, so
Mm.
making sure I don't be oily and stuff. That's another big one.
And this heat index been
Yeah, one
crazy.
might just be hot too,
Man,
Heat index is
but
crazy right now.
I feel like
Yeah,
you go through like a adult puberty almost.
yeah,
Mm,
I agree. And I guess I'll hop in. I don't think that it's almost like you change and you relearn a bunch of different things.
mm-hmm,
I think from the soap that you end up using,
mm-hmm,
yeah,
it could be like whether like you like the towels that you actually use. If you're actually doing like I've been trying to learn, understand, get into like the whole like the true skincare shit.
the
Uh,
exfoliating and all that.
yeah. But I also have like a very specific skin to where like I can like introducing too many new things to break me out. So now I'm like relearning and reintroducing and figuring out like what's the equation, what's the proper equation to
Mm,
it. Yeah. Like again, like I think that to what Tone said, you hit that second puberty. You take that shower at night. If it's hot enough in your room, you gotta take one in the morning when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Nah, fact.
it just be what it
You gotta
is.
have that
You
fan
know what I
on.
mean? Them balls gonna sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby powder
I,
season.
and I think it's funny, but if you notice, like, there's other podcasts where they talk about like manscape. You ever seen the manscape
Yeah.
Jones? It's
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
and if you notice, you
Yeah.
know that we're in a different time. And I don't, this is crazy, but I don't want to say that it's men getting softer. But if you notice that they're actually advertising
Jerry
for
said, "Don't
men.
cut your shit, bro."
No.
Yeah.
No,
Had
no.
that
What I'm saying
Go
is
with
that,
1980
Wooly
bush.
guy.
Yeah.
oh, I don't even know if they was talking about like cutting your hairs. But anyway, what I was
Oh,
gonna say is
Manscaped is
that
about that.
oh,
Yeah,
it's about like
The
your
no,
ball
it's
hair.
about
They make
okay.
a trimmer that
everything
cuts your
dealing with
balls.
Oh, it's a trimmer. So yeah, I
Jeremy.
ain't really pay. I just heard
Hey,
the
ladies.
manscape thing, and I know it's
First
about
off the
male.
wax, Jeremy coming in with the woolly mammoth.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Like
proud.
it's
I'm still
1983 in this
listen,
motherfucker.
listen,
Oh, yeah.
listen.
The wool.
What I'm saying is that
The woolly mammoth.
they
That
started
nigga
to
is
Hey
advertise.
yo.
unappreciated.
Hey, yo. What I'm saying though, this is a new thing though that they're actually advertising products to men. These skincare products, the beard joint with they're actually advertising to us. So it's literally becoming a thing for us to kind of take care of ourselves, which hadn't been a thing in the generations prior.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, have a separate shaver too for
Yeah, you're supposed to have. Yeah.
manscaping
Oh,
and your
what?
face. Yeah,
Bro,
like
Oh
that.
yeah.
yeah, you just
Yeah,
nasty.
hell yeah.
And
You
it was
gotta.
crazy. I saw a Facebook post from somebody here, and this was actually, honestly, it was about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I didn't really, like he said, putting lotion on your legs when you're wearing pants and shit. So like this was something like I never was a big. I definitely washed my face every day. You know what I mean? Every day, deodorant, all the regular stuff that you've been doing all your life. But I ain't really used to lotion my whole body. And it was funny because I wouldn't say that his girl had like broken up with him, but he had made a post like, your new boyfriend don't even lotion his whole body. And I was
Is
like,
that
Neat.
Jeff?
no.
That's like one of
That's
them.
how real doing
That
it.
does
I
sound
say
like a
yeah,
Jeff. That does sound like Jeff right
He said,
there.
"I don't argue with nobody. They don't exfoliate." That
Yeah,
nigga got his
that's a
skin
Jeff shit for
flashy.
sure, for sure. And so like I had to sit and think about it. I was like, damn, nah, I wasn't lotioning my whole body after I was getting out the shower, bro. I wasn't. That was something that I was doing. So I know that for me, I know there's plenty of dudes out here that's from the hood that if they being honest with themselves,
That shit
it's
takes some.
not just me. But it's plenty of dudes that's
I ain't gonna lie,
from the
I'm
hood.
looking at my whole body today.
Yeah.
It takes some getting used to.
It does.
Like,
It
cause
becomes
you,
a new routine. It's like a whole new routine that we have to learn as
I
men.
don't do it every shot. I'm about every 3 days
Nah,
of
I
the
done got to
You
every
week.
want like
shower
put the
now.
Like,
Yeah,
And then
oh
I done
yeah.
switched. I done got to every shower now. I done switched my lotion up. I got
don't
some
want
good
to.
lotion. I can't think of what it's called. It's like
How like that shit gonna make me
Eucerin.
sweaty?
It do, but it's
Eucerin.
just a
That's what it's
weird
called.
feeling. Just
So
sitting there.
yeah, I seen it on the end cap in Target one time. I was like, oh okay.
Used to,
Yeah.
oh, I
It's
think
good
that
for that.
was.
Mm. Mm.
Jeez.
See,
You're gonna
now
need
you
to get
getting
to a
two.
mic pretty soon.
Now you talking about two different
Eucerin
things,
is
putting
thick
it
as hell
into
though.
making your
I
own
can't use.
concoction.
Oh, for real? Okay, I might have to try that.
Yeah,
Cause
see,
I used to use that one because I got dry.
that's what I
I
use.
get dry skin too.
Oh,
But
another good one. Water pick.
Oh
Water
yeah,
pick.
Yeah.
yeah.
Water pick like dental hygiene. And this is yeah. Like it's up like your dentist will recommend you do that above like flossing it itself.
Mm.
what, the water pick over
Yeah, the water
flossing?
pick. Yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
matter of fact. So when you go to the dentist, you know when they're spraying that water and they just kind of going around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is. They have those that are Amazon for how much they cost? Like $30, something like that.
Mm.
Yeah. But they
You learning
recommend
something.
that heavy.
I gotta get on
Where
that.
all you doing is filling it up with water every night, and you go in, you hit all the spots,
It
and
probably
it
don't
works
hurt as
better.
much as regular flossing
Well, it's gonna
too.
hurt when you first start, and you'll probably bleed a little bit because your gums are getting used to it.
Mm.
But then after like the second, third day,
But it don't hurt when the dentist do it though.
maybe not a lot. Some people
Like,
depending
that's like my
again,
favorite part of that shit. Like when they go through and like that's always been my favorite part of going to the dentist.
again, and
So,
that'll probably be what the main thing is that yeah, if you do floss consistently, and yeah, again like I said, to me it works If I get something stuck in my tooth, I just run up there, hit that real good, and that shit be right out. Flossing sometimes you be having to goddamn get up in that. But it
Flossing
works
is tough.
amazingly, and it is
It works.
highly recommended.
Uh,
They recommend that above flossing.
Okay. Learning something.
hey,
Learning something.
I
ain't know.
got one.
I ain't know that.
I know. Probably it's a lot of dudes who going through this and don't do nothing about it. Okay, so for one, you need to dry off all the way. That's one of the things I didn't used to do. I used to dry off all the way. But the reason I'm saying that is because you start getting like jock itch. That's a thing. Like like
Ain't
a
Shit.
lot of dudes.
Ain't that a yeast infection?
This nigga say
I think it is technically considered a yeast infection.
that's funny. I thought it was like you talking about like chafing.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
pretty like jock
I didn't know
itch
that
and
was what they
everything.
called a yeast infection.
Yeah, when you get like they don't get around like shoot, especially if you sweating in different as you get older, you start sweating in different areas and stuff like that. Yeah, you gotta take care of all that. Like,
Baby
Said
powder
times
season,
looking like them
bro.
BBW.
I got deodorant in my balls and stuff now that I'm old. But I'm like, it's just real. Like, hey, matter of fact, you gotta actually take care. You know that like the top of your crack that's ever been dry, like you be starting to itch and shit like that. Yeah, you gotta take care of all of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember my crack itching, but uh,
Hey, that's the thing. That's the
I
thing,
bet
bro.
I don't know. I don't want to laugh. It's probably something that might have happened. I don't know.
That's the
damn, I was
thing.
just
All
about to
that
say,
stuff.
Everybody
Right.
had an itchy booty one time. That shit normal.
Nah, that
oh
junk,
yeah, and then something else that Jeff was saying, and there about it was a joke that this dude said, "Oh fuck it, I don't care." Well, when I was at the military, this silly ass dude, silly ass sergeant, we had to come back because I had to use the bathroom. And so we come back, and I was in there for a minute. When you in the field, bro, like you got to use them porta johns. Them johns is trash, bro. But you know what I mean. You end up having to, use them if you. But I was the driver, so he let me go back, and he rode with me to go use the bathroom. And when I came back, he was talking about how he talking about some nigga. You brought all that shit in there with you, and so he was talking about like using wet wipes. Right, so I had never even thought about. Only thing I knew was like you wet babies. You use you use fucking what you call it with babies. I had never thought about using wet wipes, and I seen Jeff say something about it too on
On
social.
IG or something. Yeah.
Yeah, on social. And so like the wet wipes things is still something that I've not gotten. I've bought a pack, but I still can't get used to that. It's still like weird.
What's a little different? I would say the only
Nah,
little
wet
wiggle
wipes
with the wet wipes is you
necessity.
got to be careful. And you got to make sure that the ones that you get are biodegradable because I guess they can like
Yeah,
actually
not
fuck
that-
up.
yeah.
They can like even the ones that say flushable.
Yeah, they not
still can
flushable.
kind of fuck up your plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's facts. Now I definitely know about that part. I done had to goddamn rent there. You try to use the little snake from Home Depot, and then that don't work. You got to go and get the whole big boy joint, the rental joint, and
Shit,
flush it all the way out. But that's trash.
Uh,
But yeah, nah. So, what's something that I've been looking at that I wanted to kind of get into? Which I'm gonna get into that wet floss joint.
Yeah,
That right
water
there is
floss.
about
Water
water
pick.
water pick.
Water-
Yeah, water pick.
floss. You type in
I'm gonna just. Oh, so okay, that'll work. Yeah, so I like that.
what's y'all
idea.
facial routines?
I got really it's like I don't even remember what it's called, the brand. I got it from bro, it's crazy. All of this stuff that we go and get, literally none of this shit is black owned. But Tyson's went in there and got this facial and beard wash joint, and it's got like the I think argan oil and all these different oils and all this shit, 100% natural joint. I wish I could tell you the name, so but I started doing that joint, and actually at this point, and then the after getting out after you wash it off, getting out, dry your face up. I got some little oil, you know what I mean, some little beard oil and facial oil joint that I use, and that's pretty much it. I got to go ahead and get more into the exfoliation shit too, because I actually do have like skin. My skin is definitely. It's probably because I've been bullshitting it my whole life. You know what I mean? It's crazy growing out of that hood, especially when you're no longer. It's when you can afford not to live that way. It's like you still end up bringing some of that shit with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
product
it's just
of
natural.
routine.
Yeah.
Facial. I guess like right now, I'm kind of like transition. Like I'm inside of like a transitional space where I'm kind of learning a few different things. Where for a while, I guess it was like the coffee scrub. It's the face washer. I forget the name of the brand. Remember the name of what's the name of the brand? Simple, yeah, simple. So it's the face wash and the moisturizer that has UV in it. SPF. There we go. One of them words that deal with like the sun and shit.
That's a good old
But
lady.
as well, like when I add a bunch of things, like, and I was starting to kind of like go through like adult puberty a little bit, so I was starting to kind of like
Yeah,
break
that
out in
shit be
different little
hitting.
spaces,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also eating like some snacks and junk food as well. So like I went through the process right now where I've stripped all that away.
Damn, I ain't seen the
And
Swiss roll. He ain't popped the Swiss roll. You ain't noticed that?
Oh
oh
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
nah,
Nigga ain't popped the Swiss roll in a minute. I commend you.
yeah.
I didn't
He
even
was on the
notice.
Swiss rolls
He
every
was on
week.
them Swiss rolls tough.
Every single
Yeah.
week.
Them cylindrous objects with the cream filling.
And Johnny over here trying to. What's yours, Johnny?
Oh nah, I usually use I got the Clear Cell wipes, come in
Mm.
a little blue joint, and then recently I used to use the Noxzema, but I've switched to Olay.
That shit breaks me the fuck out. The Noxzema
Yeah,
shit.
no, I had a switch. I had a switch, but I
You
used
don't be fucking with it.
cause I got sensitive dry skin, so I use Olay Daily Wash, and then
Mm.
they got a little exfoliating cream that I use. So
That's
it's good for like if you got like
After you exfoliate, do you put moisturizer on? Or you just walking out and exfoliating skin in the sun?
If you don't get to a mic.
yeah, I usually don't moisturize after.
So then exfoliating is like pretty much opening your pores up,
So
right?
you gotta
To get it open.
moisturize after.
So exfoliating is getting rid of your dead skin so the new skin cells can like regenerate, like, you know, new layers.
And you can get like a little rag,
So-
exfoliating rag that you can just wash
Yeah.
that'll scrub off.
So after
all
you
that shit.
exfoliate, it's good for you to moisturize because you're trying to
Like with
get your
lotion
skin
or just
a facial moisturizer.
oh okay.
Because what you're trying to do is get rid
Yeah, I
of your
can't use
dead
lotion on my
skin
face at all. That shit burn me
and
out.
you know get your new skin to come through, and it's just good to moisturize that.
I'll add that. I have to do that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
no, I just
yeah,
thinking.
that's
I feel like this was gonna be a good conversation as long as everybody was willing to like tell their truth, because we all got some growing to do in the area, especially like it's, bro. I know it's
well, yeah,
plenty of men, bro.
yeah.
That's it. I know I came where I came from, and nobody was doing none of this
You
shit.
know, if you go to sleep
No,
and it's
I can tell you right now, my pops. Matter of fact, I went when we got the beard oil and the wash and all that shit. He was with me, old soft hand ass nigga. You know what I mean? He was like literally that's where we come from. Like literally, we come from that, and it's like, bro, we have to unlearn that shit.
Nah,
And
for
that's why I
sure.
thought this was a great topic
You
to
gotta
bring up,
pamper
because
yourself.
we have to take better care of ourselves. And then how the thing is that because our parents didn't teach us, that's the reason why we don't know. But what we want to do is pass down the better hygiene to our kids. You know what I mean? Especially our sons. It's like, I'm pretty sure that'll help. You know what I mean? In areas of, you know, something.
what? What did you say?
Are you trying to say like getting
I ain't
girls?
say
dating?
I ain't.
The man trying to be
Nigga started
real
humming
badass
Negro.
over here.
No, I
Oh,
was just gonna
use
chime in and
Negro.
say
You bring back Negro.
for
My
any of
bad.
the
I
guys
ain't
who
finna let no
are
white people
like
call me
looking to
Negro,
get
bro.
into
I'm just
skincare,
telling
like
you.
facial skincare, I would say book just like a consultation with an esthetician. They'll give you a facial and let you know what products they would recommend based on like how your skin reacts, and that could be a starting point for you, as well as just going out just buying a bunch of stuff because facial skincare is expensive.
You said it's called an esthetician.
No, an
Esthetician.
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 Yes.
That's a new one for
I'll
me.
shout out a classmate real quick, Brittany Madison. She's an esthetician. Brittany Madison went to Philip O'Berry with us. She's an esthetician. Just shouting out her real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say do that.
Okay.
For sure. Because I know for me, during COVID, my skin went haywire with the mask and everything. I like experienced acne. And I wasn't one of those kids that had acne before. So like my skin went crazy. So I went to an esthetician and she was like, oh, just use Urban Skin RX. And I was like, all right. And it works. So that's been helping me.
Okay. I gotta book me an appointment.
I was about to say that's the other part of it too. You got to learn what kind of skin you got because everybody got different type of skin.
Yeah.
So I'm like my regimen is pretty simple for the most part, and I've been kind of doing the same thing. I don't have a specific brand of anything I use. Like it's just more so like I have a face wash, I have an exfoliator, and then I put on facial moisturizer. And luckily my skin not too sensitive, so I can do lotion some days. But for the most part, that's like all you really need. Those three things.
I
That'll
gotta
be pretty
get the
clean.
moisturizer, bro.
Hey, yeah, you
Cause,
gotta
'cause
get
now
them.
that shit, I damn noted my shit'll be
Y'all got any
dry.
cologne that you like smelled and it's like that's one of them ones? Or you got your old lady told you like that's the one right there. I like that one right there. Y'all ain't got no recommendations?
I'm not like the. How can I frame it? I'm not as much of a cologne head, so like Todd, she gets a assortment, like it's like a monthly different little switch of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I
Little
like we
scent
both not
bird.
somewhere I'll throw on one or like it might be one or two that's gotten I can't remember the name of it, that's gotten like a couple compliments or whatever.
Which ones you like that he got?
Um, the one that I can think of, I think, is the Versace Eros. Yeah, I like that on him a lot. I get it monthly, so like we have just random scents that come to the house. Some of them we like, some of them we don't. But I think that's probably one of my top ones, and it's another one I just cannot remember the name of it.
Versace Arrows. Okay.
Every woman like that, and it's old fragrance. Like, but every woman I be seeing, like, they always talking about they love some Versace Eros. I be on the fragrance groups. You already know I'm into that.
Yeah.
Like, heavy. The fragrance groups, they always talk, like, the women always talking about they like Versace Eros. That's a definite go to. Shoot, man, I know I be on the off brand stuff. I'm not paying the $300 price. That's where it come down for me. So I'm definitely like a clone brand shopper, but I found a good brand that I like. It's a brand I use called Genre Parfums, and they make some of their own stuff too. But they make clones of like $300 fragrances and stuff that's been
I've
discontinued.
heard of that.
They're pretty good.
I'm trying to think. What would be one of my favorite? That Citizen Jack. The Citizen Jack is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That Bad Boy. I don't know what it's the black bottle. The Bad Boy. It's got like it's like a summery smell. A summer smell. It smells like a. I don't know. It's like a masculine. I guess it's more of like a unisex fragrance. Would you say that Bad Boy, that black joint, is a unisex fragrance?
Well, Bad Boy is a male fragrance. They have Good Girl, which is like the opposite.
Oh,
of that.
okay.
They got Bad Boy and they got Good Girl. The girls got that. It's like a heel.
Okay, so it is. I was gonna say because it's a flowery smell, but it still smells like a masculine fragrance. It's one of my. That's like one of the first one more. Well, first it's not that expensive, but one of the more expensive first ones that I got. And yeah, that's one that I like. And then that Citizen Jack is another one that I really like. Well, yeah.
Should I be on the what's it called? Some old shit. Unforgivable.
That Sean John.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Hey,
like
Sean
it.
John makes some pretty good fragrances. You can't really go wrong. Like, and it's a range. Like, I would definitely advise any dudes like look into the colognes because it's a range from value. Like, you can get stuff from like $8 at Burlington. Like, yeah, that's a big place I was going. They be having stuff for $3 sometimes, $8, $6. Like,
Oh, and one that I forgot
Old
that
school.
Marc Jacob Bang. That's another good one too.
I still be on like the polo and like the old school shit.
Mm.
oh boy, I got a collection. I ain't gonna need.
This nigga
I
here,
might have
boy.
to bring some. I got a
Yeah.
collection, man. I started giving stuff away at this point. Exactly.
Mhm.
You got to see what's
Well, that's
happening
true
in your
too.
body.
Yeah.
And then something else that I like about that. This is something else that because I do use cologne. Everything else that I use is scentless. Everything else that I use is scentless. My detergent, my soap, deodorant, like all of that stuff is scentless. And then I mess around with either way. Yeah, all of that stuff is scentless. I was like, why would you spray something on top of something else? And because if you smelling it and you like it, then you never smell like that because you putting it on top of some other
Something
shit.
else.
Niggas
Yeah.
don't even
So
wash their ass, come out, throw a cologne.
you know what I mean? So that's something else that's one of those that I started doing as I gotten older. One of those things. I always liked it. You remember we used to spray the bod back in the day as a young and the little bod joints.
The X.
Smells like X.
Bro,
Good. That was like a very short lived thing for me. And then it was like, yeah, no, I wasn't a big Axe fan. But in high school you would smell that shit all through the locker room. That Axe shit, that was just
it's
too
still
much.
a lot of dudes that live by X. You just learn when you get older, you don't spray it like we was spraying it in high school.
They was
high
spraying
school,
it. Shh. Yeah, they was spraying it.
That shit used to be terrible.
especially that chocolate joint. They smell that everywhere in school. Yeah, shoot, man. It sound like a good place.
I was gonna say, yeah, y'all boys. Any other tips? Which,
Hey, man, leave some in the comments if y'all got them,
Yeah,
though.
for sure. Give us some. I mean, I know we got a guy audience. If we got some women, y'all can give us some fragrance recommendations. Dudes, if you see something working for you, you know what I mean. Put it in the chat. I mean, in the comments. My bad.
Shout out to all the niggas with lotion on their legs, wearing jeans in 90-degree weather.
I'm just
I
saying.
know y'all boys. I know y'all boys sweating, but you
I
moisturize.
ain't sweat. I
Hey,
ain't sweating. I'm
I'm
good.
cool.
See, it's a thing. You do it right after you dry your body out the shower. So by the time you leave the house, you good.
One more tip that I learned is after you moisturize, give yourself like 30 minutes before you put on clothes so the moisture can actually seep into your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
a
a
good
tip
one.
that I will say.
Nah, that's
And
what.
when you put your cologne on, I like to put my cologne on like after I moisturize. Get out the shower, I moisturize. Give it about like 10 minutes or so for it to, and then put the cologne on.
Mix some in your lotion.
Huh?
Mix a little bit in your lotion before you put it on, like the cologne. Mix a
So
little,
like spray it and then put it
and
on
then
your
put the
head.
lotion there.
And then
Rub everything in.
okay.
It go a
I ain't
long
mad
way.
at that. I ain't mad at
Free
that.
tip for y'all.
Pretty good.
But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and put a pin in it. My topic for this week, well, my question was, when is enough enough? And it had to do with the Ukraine. Uh, we've been sending all this aid. We sent like 100 something Bradley armored vehicles and tanks, and they say like a third of them done already been destroyed or put out of commission. And we better send, another $5 billion worth of aid over there, and for what?
Who operating them tanks? Them boys are our boys.
Them boys, yeah, we ain't over there. We training them. They sending like
They over there fucking that shit up.
I think that was part of it. They brought some of them boys over. Like we trained some of them, and they gave them the tanks,
The new Al Qaeda.
and they ran in there and got
Right. That's crazy.
It's a little different, but maybe one day he'll see that.
What that's like?
I
That's
have a
kind of
question.
like the truth. But go ahead. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Well, no, Al Qaeda, like we kind of fucked them over too. Like we ain't
You don't think we eventually fuck over the Ukraine?
we eventually, but we ain't got there yet. That's yeah, we ain't got there yet. So
So what do you think? Or if you know, what is the reason that war started? Because I
what
have a what I believe it was based on what I had
what do you
heard.
think it was?
I heard it was about something about the U.S. continuing to allow the encroachment of Ukraine into taking more land over there.
They weren't Ukraine wasn't taking no land from Russia. It's about NATO.
Mm.
So NATO, Ukraine won't be part of NATO. NATO's
Right.
with the American,
Mm-hmm.
with the West, the quote unquote West, and Russia's the communist.
But I thought that they wanted to do that. That was like prior to, wasn't it? Or after the fact.
Well,
They decided they wanted to be a part of NATO
Ukraine's been
after.
trying to get part of like lined up with the West since
Okay.
like 2014. Russia first invaded Crimea back in 2014. So it has to do with the Ukraine trying to be more American, and Putin don't want that. And Ukraine used to be part of Russia, and so that's his justification for going back in there. And my thing is basically, and my thing is why we gotta fund that.
Mm.
Or like that's some shit that ain't got nothing to do with us.
Why do you think it is that
What
we're
is
funding
America?
it?
My bad.
Ukraine. I mean,
But there has to be an American benefit to it.
Right.
That's why.
And that's why I was asking, why do you think it is that we're funneling these the money and all of these different things there?
it's not no benefit to the average American or the
Most things aren't a benefit to us.
average, but there's I mean Ukraine, especially like with their natural gas, we're one of the biggest like holders of natural gas, and they've been trying to get them away from Russia with natural gas, and so there's people that are in like Gazprom. I think Hunter Biden used to work for them motherfuckers. And so it's just a money grab. Like it's people in our government that are getting paid to give them gas. And Russia don't like that. Russia don't like them aligning with us. And so Russia been had a beef with Ukraine. That ain't nothing that we started. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
And you saying that and I don't know where, I can't remember exactly where I heard it at. You're saying that Ukraine has not extended it's pretty much it hasn't moved its borders further.
Nah,
They
Russia
haven't.
took land from Ukraine and said it was Russia, and they tried to take that back. That's about all. But it's land Russia already took.
Okay.
But yeah, they ain't taking no new land. They just want to keep theirs. And like I say, I think Ukraine got that right, and they can want to be in NATO. But like as Americans and shit, like it just like we were talking about it earlier. As a Black American, some shit that ain't got no interest to me. Just to see us sending billions of dollars and like a third of the tanks, then it just.
But is it in the best interest of being American?
American period, because even the white folk ain't really. I ain't really too much heard
The white folk really with them sending all that bread over there either.
Yeah, the question is like, is it?
No,
Do you
because
think that
Pence
it's
just said
beneficial for the
he would
country to
keep
do it?
on like the Republicans are for funding Ukraine
But
still.
I guess I'm more or less asking you: do you think that it's beneficial for us as Americans to continue aiding in this still?
No,
Okay, and why not?
no, because don't. Most of us couldn't 2 years ago didn't even know where Ukraine was on a map. How does
But that
that?
ain't got nothing to do with it being beneficial.
That's crazy. I keep hearing that too. That's what they keep
Because
saying.
nobody knew where Ukraine was. It's a fact. Like
Yeah, yeah,
nobody
yeah.
knew where Ukraine was.
But what does
Because
that have to do with it being efficient? I mean, like
if it
beneficial,
beneficial,
especially if you. It sounded like what you just outlined was that the gas and their natural gas production is the reason for us to be allied with them in what we can
no, it's our
take.
natural gas. We're selling it to them. Like,
Oh, so they're just taking our natural gas.
well,
So they're
they're
consuming it.
buying it,
Of course,
and there's people here that's selling it to them. But
of course.
they've been trying to get away from Russia because Russia got also a lot of
They're not-
It has to be more than that though,
natural gas.
because like we could sell more gas somewhere else. I'm sure there's other takers of our natural gas.
I mean, that's part of it. That's part of. I
So
mean,
what? All right, my bad. So it has to be more than that. I'm not like super well researched, but that would be like such a minimal reason to like for us to send billions over there.
I mean, it might be a little more, but I mean, of course, it's the communist versus capitalism thing, and that's just something where it's geopolitical. It's not just Russia; it's also the effects of Russia and China.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh, matter of fact, I feel like you've broken this down before, and you did this along the lines of Democrat Republican before,
what was
correct?
communism versus capitalism?
Unpack that a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's the same game. It's just they got all of us are capitalists because we're in America, so they make us think that communists are bad.
Mm.
And it ain't the people that are communists are bad, it's the governments. Just like we got issues with the way our government is ran. So they, make it seem like everything Putin does is just gonna be terrible for us and they're gonna have all of these effects as Americans and we don't send them, but no, in reality it's probably not gonna really affect us
Mm.
too much. And it's actually the brick shits come from our sanctions and it's
Yeah.
actually hurt us more even trying to send all that money and trying to hold Russia accountable because all these other countries are teaming up against us.
And so, like, I guess for those who don't know, can you elaborate a little bit more on that on the brick
Oh,
situation?
that's like I think Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the S is, but they buying and they trading only their currency, so to
Mm-hmm.
take the international reserves away from the dollar. So just geopolitical shit, but it just made me mad just seeing all of that shit just get sent over there for something that
We ain't got nothing to do with
yeah,
it.
it ain't gonna be no sweat off my back, no matter how that shit go.
Yeah, so it's gonna force me to research more because it does sound like that there's definitely an elephant that we're not addressing, but I don't know what that elephant is. Tone, you got something for us?
I ain't dropping nothing on this. I want y'all to do y'all research on that because in order for me to really go where I want to go,
Go ahead. You
Nah.
gotta give us something. That's a crazy one.
hey, all I'm gonna say is look at your president, look at his family.
Come on, keep talking, dog.
Hey, look at your
Hey,
president.
listen, me and Tone, we're starting
That's
a
what
theory. We're gonna call the pod theories,
theories.
and we're gonna like just get into some theories that we have about
So what you
the
saying?
world and how it works.
You
I'm
Biden? You
saying
You
saying
going
Just
to
unpack a
the
little,
Hunter
just
Biden
enough,
shit?
just enough.
I would say there are
Get
some
enough.
connections. There are some connections there that benefit our president more than they benefit the country. And I don't even
I
think
feel
it's
like
just.
you went
I
down this
think
line
there's.
before that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's more to it behind there, but that I'm not exactly sure about, and that's why I'm not going to go all the way in on this topic, like because there's a lot of stuff that, like as far as like this whole Ukraine and I mean I think this is all just like
Oh,
almost like flip fluff to get to a means of wherever they're trying to go to, but. Yeah, I would look at your president and his ties to these
He said,
countries.
"Your president."
hey,
Yeah.
hey Tone, you gotta think. You can even go back to like Trump and look at his ties to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Like that man Putin. He was in people say he was in
Was in
Putin's back
yeah, yeah,
pocket,
yeah, yeah.
and
They
so
was saying that
and
heavy.
and
You
and
about to get
so
into what I was. Go ahead.
and so that switch of power when because Russia, I know what you were talking about, yeah, because Russia like you didn't even think when Trump got elected, Russia was meddling in our elections, and why you think he was meddling in our elections? Because he was cool with Trump. He wanted Trump to win. Trump lost, Biden won, Biden cool with Ukraine. Year later,
Conflict.
Right, and this is what I was hitting on. Well, I guess hinting at earlier. As I said, the theory's coming soon. Where the impact of geopolitical, like the impact geopolitical has on our actual election, and why multiple countries are all vying for different candidates, because a lot of it ends up coming down to like their personal ties, i.e., that like Democrat slash Republican ties, in which are at different spaces.
which
Um,
i.e. capitalism
versus communism.
communism.
Yes. And like that's its own thing to like really like take a little bit of like the bow off of and unwrap. Or unpack, should I say. Where I don't know. Johnny,
No, it's just I mean I've been I think war and shit is like fascinating to like it's crazy, it's sad. That's why I never joined the military because I ain't gonna go die for somebody else's beef. I ain't finna crash out for like some shit where we just talked about Black America and everything we done been through, and they won't even give us our just due, but then they expect us to go out there and die for their causes. I just couldn't do it, and it just make me how do
can I
we
ask you
as
this?
people fall for it every single time?
So
So
if Trump wins again, does the Ukraine war happen?
no.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. And if Trump wins again, if he run in 2024 and he win, that should have probably end
Mm-hmm.
really quick.
What's up?
Because I mean, Trump gonna give Putin
Gonna pull all of that shit out of
yeah,
Ukraine and
yeah,
then
yeah.
let it go.
He gonna give him what he want. Yeah, all that funding gonna stop. It's gonna come to a quick end if Trump get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and what I was getting to is just like we as people, like it be regular motherfuckers that go over there and die for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll go fight for that shit, and it's just these rich motherfuckers that's every time. Even our Congress people, they invest in military stocks and
Well, I mean, at the same time, we can't, and I'm not saying this just because I was in the military. What happens if niggas
Tell them
just
about
don't
it.
join?
Mm-hmm.
Then where are we left?
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely benefits
I
that
mean,
we
we
need.
need we
We
need a
need the
military.
military,
We need a military.
and
Yes, I
so
ain't saying that.
yeah.
The
But I'm
fact that
just
we have the quote unquote most powerfulest military is a big bargaining chip as being American
yeah. I
or
mean,
Negro or
well,
Black
only thing I'll say,
or
well, I'll
Aboriginal.
leave that up. Well, I'll say no.
Or,
Fuck it. The only thing I can say is that
my bad.
people in United States that join the military, or majority, or the ones that I've known, they don't join for the same reasons that the people in other countries join the military. So there's a little bit of a difference in, well, not a, there's a big difference in the ideology of the individual while they're making that decision. We're generally going because of the financial
It's
gain.
the opportunity.
The
It's
financial gain.
benefit to people to go into
Yeah.
the military. So I
So
get
like
that.
it. Yeah. So like I say, yeah,
And I,
each
I
going for
ain't mean
different
nothing
reasons,
against anybody who went
and
to the
that's why I
military.
just want to make sure
Yeah,
that
yeah. I ain't mean. I was just talking about me personally, like my
why you didn't
reasoning.
go.
Yeah, but and I mean,
I was
'cause
going to instigate it if y'all
Nah,
didn't get here.
nah,
Go ahead.
nah. Because I mean, I understand why. I mean, this is the reason why I thought about doing it in the first place. It was because of the financial benefit and the
Oh, you
opportunity.
did think. Okay.
So I ain't like against people going to get their bang and helping. Now I'm just saying
And
the
shout out to the veterans. My pop's a veteran.
yeah,
Big shout
and
out.
shout out,
Yep.
yeah,
Shout
we
out to the
appreciate
veterans.
everybody that did that, but having more information and just having learned stuff, you have to apply that. You have to question these things, and that's just so I just want to put out there, and I just was a little pissed off
You
because
know something crazy too is it's seeming as though that is a much less popular idea going to the military than it's probably ever been at this point. Like I haven't heard any of like the
They got to
say
raise they payment scale, I think, because
17, 18 year olds, and I mean
and
because of like
I think people,
entrepreneurship is so much more sexy right now.
but
no 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 not, but I'm just the reason why I
Crypto
said that is
bro,
because what
so
is
much
that
more sexy.
what is the result of said thing?
I don't think it's
Oh,
the
like less.
Yeah,
Oh,
what is the
us
result
lowering
of
our
us?
GD, like our
but
power world, like our biggest bargaining chip, and what the reason why we can operate off fiat
And
currency is
pop
the
shit.
fact that we have a fucking boss ass military. That's kind of like the end goal. Like that's why. Because if you say some shit, we're gonna come over there and fuck it up. If we lose that big ass chip in the poker game, duh.
But see, here's my issue with it. And because we spend like 3 times as much as any other country
In the
on our
military.
military.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't mind it.
But when the money come up and we can't figure out where it is, then what? You
and
know
they
how many
spending
times they
Oh,
been
well,
like,
that's corruption. That part's the corruption. That's
yeah.
old
But
boy
you,
that's
I see
getting,
what you
getting
said.
rich.
You really you don't mind the investment in the military as long
Yeah.
as it's going to the proper place where
Yeah.
you're saying it's going.
Right. Like I heard a dumbass argument from like some liberal talking about police, where they were saying that we should like fire all the police and then just hire people that want to do it. And
Yeah.
then the person was saying that, well,
It's gonna be all
we're going
police.
to have to pay them more, and they was like, no, just get more people that actually want to do it. That's not how this shit works.
That's
That's
who's
not how it
doing
works
it.
at
That's
all.
who's
definitely
doing
not
it
how it
That'd be
now.
like the dumbass liberal logic, where it's like, no, like if you can't defund the police, you better put more motherfucking money in there if you
Yeah,
want better
and
candidates.
then the Democrats even use that as why would you say defund the police? I
You
think
should
that
make the
they're
motherfuckers get a degree, if anything.
Yeah, like you
And
want to pay them motherfuckers 150 and
and
hire
see
them
how many
goddamn
more. Yeah,
requirements to where a nigga got to leave and he come out with a master's inside
then you go get
psychology,
some good
and you
cops.
have some self defense underneath your belt, to where like you actually had to like really do hand to hand combat and really learn how to where you feel safe in whatever environment.
A
yeah,
first year cop get paid like 35,000.
You
That
know what them
mean
niggas
he
should
want
have?
to do that. Like you
yeah,
don't just
yeah.
like if
You
he
gotta
choose
want to
do
do it for 35.
Right.
You know the nigga that I think would be I would trust not to shoot the gun. Them niggas with the cauliflower ear.
Oh, cause they'll beat the dog wheels off your.
No need.
We'll beat the dog
Motherfucker be like,
wheels
here,
off
take
your
the
ass.
gun. I'm gonna
Bro,
go.
you ever played around with a wrestler, bro? Them motherfuckers gonna lock you in something quick, bro.
Yeah, no, I was in the military. You
Them
can
niggas
see
will lay on their
them
back like
boys.
this, just waiting.
Yeah,
Nah, come on.
them boys are for real. And then the
Yeah,
thing is
yeah.
that
Fuck
Fuck
your
around with
ass
they
up.
be the least suspecting motherfucker that'll put you on your head quick.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, don't even walk around
They
like
know
he
angles
goddamn
and like
trying
they
to.
just they've already like
Motherfucker,
accounted
karate
for you to
chop
do
your
this
ass
and
real
shit.
quick.
Like,
Be out of
Yeah.
breath.
Nah, that's true. That's true.
I guess before we get out of like our political, socio-political space, I'd like to get y'all perspective on what's his name, Vivek Ramaswamy, something like that. He's the Indian dude that's running for
I
Republican.
know you're
With the
talking about.
Republican.
They had him on Breakfast
He was
Club
on
and all
Breakfast
that
Club
shit.
as well.
Yeah.
In which that interview was kind of crazy. Shorty that what like they had another call in lady, and she was wilding. And I think like she had like a very specific like this is what she did. This is a quick tangent because you brought up Breakfast Club, and I have an opinion about that. Like she was asking this nigga like, what leadership things do you have dating back to middle school? And I'm like, why would like if he did something in middle school
Lord.
have anything to do with it? But she was discrediting him actually like being a self-made billionaire that runs a medical company who he has founded like life-saving research and XYZ. And she was like, but did you ever like was student government? Did you ever
Student government.
and I'm like,
She
holy
was just
shit.
happy to be on
What
the
kind
radio.
of shit
Yeah.
is this right here?
Yeah, she was happy to be on the radio.
And
She didn't expect to get
she
a
was on
number
the phone
call.
in Zoom shit, so I thought like she was gonna be like one like this the tapped in like political correspondent that these niggas, and she was sounding crazy. But he does have like a very interesting thing that I think that I love to get y'all take on when it comes down to like he's pushing this idea of voting. And voting being pushed to 25 years old unless you have completed just like a preliminary test in which the test would be like what they give like the immigrants and stuff that understand
Have you ever
to be
took
able to
that test?
understand to be able to
I took that test.
to be able to
Not that hard.
hold on, let me
No, bro. It's hard fuck enough, bro.
but all right, so we're gonna unpack the test in a
Okay,
second.
go ahead.
But
You a history buff, nigga. Go ahead.
they to be able to pass like whatever like the baseline thing is for an immigrant to come in. When it comes down to how the government works, the different whatever, I guess like in essence to be able to know exactly what you're voting for, how you're voting, da 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 da. And or if you serve, I think that gives you like the option to vote. Um, and then again, if once you're 25, like whatever. I don't know. What did y'all take on that? That this is like a part of his platform that he's running on.
I don't agree with that because I'm just in principle. I'm never for like taking away like people's right to vote and having less people vote like in a democracy. Like, and
But
like if you
but
18 and you can,
you
it.
can't do shit at 18 now.
But my thing is,
I was just seeing where you was
well,
going.
now they let
You
you
can
go
get
to
them.
the
You can get
army.
that Newport.
You can go to the army. You
You
can't
let
get
you go
Newports
to
at
the army.
18.
So
Oh,
they,
no more.
21.
I like that.
You can't buy
I
a
like that for
guard,
them.
nothing. 21.
oh damn, I think
Hey,
I
shout
did
out to
hear
all
that.
my niggas
Yeah,
that I'm gonna get off of nicotine
but my thing is like if you send a motherfucker to war
in due
and
time.
at 18, then you should probably do. If the rest of the people ain't good enough, it sounds like it's a problem with our school system, and if because everybody else was
But,
older, was smart enough at 18 to do it.
but my
So what's
kid,
wrong with our generation?
what I would say is that at if you go and serve in the military, then that means that the consequences of the decisions that are made will have you go to war. That's different than you just being an 18-year-old that just got out of high school. That's different. The effects of that, the effects of those decisions are directly attached to, you see what I'm saying, a life or death moment for you, the possibility of a life or death moment for you. So I can see that one thing, and I'm not put the test thing on. Well, I can tell you, my teacher in at Berry, as a matter of fact, he was my whatever teacher. It wasn't. It was like economics, something in economics. Either way, he actually had us take the test, and I don't know if it's the same test, but I knew from the jump because it wasn't going to be graded. You know, y'all knew me when I was in high school, so I knew from the jump it wasn't graded. But then once I started reading it, it was like, yeah, I don't know that one. I done got to like 1 through 7, and I don't know these motherfuckers. So I'm just gonna put something on this paper so he just pass it back in. So it was definitely, and I was in the ninth grade.
Oh,
Oh,
that's what I
well,
did.
that's just like
Yeah,
11.
No,
that's
I
what I
was in
did.
the ninth grade. So, but if you think about that, at you was that ninth grade, you are what, 15,
But you should.
14
14?
turning 15.
So that's what, 3 years prior to you being able to take the test,
Vote,
right?
yeah.
Well, and then but my thing too is that at 25 you're less likely to be just doing it because of everything you're hearing. You're more likely to actually develop your own opinion, to actually your vote. Because the thing is that at 18, your vote is literally majority of the 18-year-old vote is whatever your parents were saying. So you just doubling down and tripling down based on how many kids you have that are that age. They're just doing exactly what you did. So you got your vote to count 4 additional times if you had 4 kids. I'm not saying that I'm for it, but I'm just saying that this is the thinking that he could have been going through to actually come up with that number with the test. You know what I mean? I don't know, that test thing is that right there. That should be out. Just on the fact that I don't have to know American history to make to make a decision on who I think is the moral
It
and who's
helps
talking
though.
the policy based on my experiences thus far. I don't think the test is a good example, but I'm not so far against the voting age because I believe that at 25 that's where you start to a lot of us start to come into ourselves.
I'm
And at 18, you don't know a fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't
You
agree.
don't know a fucking thing at 18.
Talk to him, Tone.
I don't agree. I think like at 18 you should still continue to be able to vote. I don't see what's the point of sitting there taking away people's rights to different things or what, especially like when it comes to voting. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you a test now for this. Like you said just a second ago, people's decisions. Well, yeah, change.
Well,
Okay,
no,
even
I
push
mean,
back. So it's still
but
taken
I guess
away,
like the
essentially.
right would be taken away if you didn't
like
pass
if you're
that
not
test.
25,
Yeah, like you can vote
like
at 18 if you
If you
pass
pass
this
the
test,
test.
yeah.
or in
Or
the
if you're
military. Yeah.
military.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like when I voted at 18, I knew what I was voting for or whatever, but that was still like my first time, and that's what got me into even paying attention. You have to learn to pay attention at some point. I can't necessarily say I would have paid attention if it wasn't an incentive to vote.
he can't see that.
I can't say I would have necessarily paid attention if it wasn't an incentive to vote or whatever, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's my what's up.
I'm really not on either side, but how many 18-year-olds really understand what they're voting for and like the depth of the decision that they're making.
That's what I'm saying. They don't. Or at least I can speak for myself.
Okay.
I absolutely
Here's
did
my.
not.
How many 25-year-olds understand it?
I had a question. I
I mean,
had a
you more.
question.
What's the
Do
like?
you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think changing the age? Do you think that is they should have always had it changed? Or you think that's a reflection of our generation or the generation that's 18? And my thing is, if it's a reflection of this generation, then that's more of a symptom of something's wrong with society, and maybe you should maybe address that instead of telling people they can't vote. Maybe look at the
Well,
schools, look at
And
something like
that was
that.
my exact
I
sentiment.
don't disagree with that, but then you also would think about if you're going to, let's say that we did just jump into making whatever that change is that needs to happen to the to us and or let's say our children or to us, and I guess that we ain't really
Well, the
included in that, the
generation
generation
after
after
us,
us.
yeah.
Then how long does that take for it to even have an impact? So you're still talking about until what about 25 anyway. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not for it. I'm just like I said. I'm just the idea. We just having a conversation about it. I kind of heard something about it, but I didn't think about it at all. But like I said, I think at 18, bro, most of us don't know nothing about none of the stuff we talk. You just co-signing some stuff that you thought you heard that bought some, or you liable to be voting for what's the gorilla they was voting for too.
Oh, yeah,
Harambe.
You
Harambe.
liable to be doing all that kind of dumb stuff, and you know what I mean. And so I'm not saying that I'm for the 25, but I can understand where a person can get to that as an option.
I mean, I still think that is pretty much ultimately just saying that our school system has failed us so much that our 18-year-olds are no longer able to make sound decisions.
So I ask y'all this. What do y'all think about? Because to me, when I heard it, I guess I went through like a couple different little phases of like understanding where I I do agree that most people at 18 are voting for no reason to an extent, right? And after a certain age, you care about it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, what it does take me back to is a lot of the barriers that were put in front of keeping minority demographics from voting in the past.
The literacy
Where you
test.
had the literacy test, the poll test, like a bunch of things in which, like, it's actually not going to affect anybody, but primarily minority groups, i.e., Black, Negro, Aboriginal. We went through this conversation,
He
but
carried that joke through the whole pod.
got to it. We call
Go
it a
ahead.
callback in comedy. I ain't a comedian, but that's a callback. But um, but nonetheless, like that, I also trailed to that
Mm-hmm.
where, like I said, like it's a lot of things that I be seeing a slippery slope to,
Mm-hmm.
and like we look at like the 92, 93 crime bill, whichever
Bill.
year it is,
Yeah.
in which some things on its face sounds good, but you can then like see the detrimental effects
Mm-hmm.
of it. And we could be for it because like in concept it sounds good, but what does it actually look like implemented? And I
Yeah.
think that this might be one of those things where like I do think a more educated voter base across the board is beneficial. And
Right.
finding a way in which like that is the thing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do think. Like, even if we said, hey, if you drop out of high school, then you have to pass this specific version of a test. But a part of like high school graduation is just making sure that passing that history class, you got to be able to pass this test. I think even that eliminates a little bit of
Mm.
that. In which like it builds in like you still got to pass your EOGs to get
Yeah,
in
but
to
only
graduate.
thing I'll say on that is that like the school system is just about you being able to regurgitate information. You haven't actually gotten real decision making type of, well, at least for me, I
Well,
wasn't able to
but
like
but
think
I
a thing through and then or put this thing against other a few different at the scale in which we would be
right,
doing
and
it.
what you're talking about is
So
like critical thinking. But
right, right,
I do think that at least because
and
like
I agree
that
with
test
that.
is still not even like a test of critical thinking and
Oh,
ideology
it is just
between
regurgitating
it's
information.
like at least I have a baseline understanding between the three branches of government. I have an understanding of like America and like these specific historical events and I can like maybe regurgitate some of this shit.
Something funny. I saw a video, right, where this dude was literally walking around asking random civilians, these are all adult people, how many stars are on the flag, how many stripes are on the flag. These two questions stumped so many of these grown people that at the end of the day, like, I say that to say that there are many people in their 50s that can't pass the test. But I understand that the threshold will be 25. But that doesn't
Right, but
necessarily
I
mean,
imagine like you like with things like that, you have to grandfather in. So like most people
If you're
prior,
already over,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
25. Yeah,
It'll probably also be like most juniors in high school also be grandfathered in, and it'll be like the incoming freshmen and shit like that.
no, I see.
In which like you got to pass this EOG to get out. Because let's not act like in high school you got mad random EOGs you have to pass to get your job. Like it just be what it is. But we just be going through the process and we won't really be caring.
Yeah.
But I guess what I was saying is that like to bring my whole point back full circle, I think that it is still a slippery slope. And I think I spoke about this earlier where like I am always a little weary of like right wing talking points that lead to like obvious discrimination against like specific groups. In which it can be guised as a good thing, but like I know how this gonna play out because of I know what the far reaches of it looks like and what they're saying as well.
And then
and
is
here's
it? Go ahead. I've been
oh, I was
talking a
gonna
bit.
say here's like when it come down to like when voting becomes a merit based and it's about what you learn in the schools,
Yeah.
who got the worst in the lowest funded schools?
Facts.
Where are those? So
I get you.
so
Yeah.
if it's a
it's
merit
still
based thing, who is it going to affect more? Versus
And that's
if
and that's what I said.
versus
You ain't never got to worry about like the white folk.
they gonna
Like
be
this
straight.
isn't anything
Yeah,
that's going to
and
impact.
then
They go to Butler and they go to them goods. They gonna be straight. But versus like what I said,
West Met.
if that's an indication or conviction on society, and we should make the schools better overall. Who's that gonna help more? Who's gonna help if schools
Gonna help
got
us.
funded more?
It's gonna help
Like
us more.
underfunded. Well, I mean,
Underfunded schools are gonna be the ones that we're predominantly going
in a
to.
perfect world, if schools got funded more, of course, it's gonna be the lowest funded schools that receive the most benefit.
Right.
And that's where I think we should just focus on making people to that level before they're 18 instead of pushing that
Tone,
standard
you
back.
got something?
Yeah, I was gonna say just to tidy this up, like, cause we is at the end of time, really. But oh, ain't even had to do that. Dang, I lost my train of thought. My bad. Should have said it.
Don't
yeah.
see a nigga go wrong.
I should have said it. I
And
lost
so-
my train of thought.
And see, this is actually like how I like to have conversations, where it's more of like you actually kind of went through and thought about it before, but like to present an idea, it's like just a think tank thing. So I ain't like it's to come up with like the reasons why they would do it, and then just to kind of go through and break down why this does or does not make sense. I think the point that both of y'all made is a very valid point because it's literally just another way of suppression, voter suppression. It can literally be the extent it becomes another level of voter suppression to minorities. That makes sense. That you know what I mean. And then they would present it in a way like they did the crime bill. It sounds good. You know what I mean. We can get better.
Put a little bow on it.
We'll get more educated decisions and da 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 da. But then at the end of the day, you've cut the population of the minority voting people in.
Have.
And then you've literally, we already know that the population, your population is not not really
It's gonna
increased.
touch on you, bro.
And so in respects of population, you can see that you're going to become a minority. And so you implement this and that, you know what I mean? So
Now I remember what I
it's
was
a
about
lot
to
of
say.
different things.
Basically, we also have to look at who was presenting this topic in the well, not within the show, but who was presenting this to the Breakfast Club in the first place. He not from this country.
No, he's
He's
from
here.
here.
He was
He was
born
raised
here.
here.
he was
Born and
born
raised
here,
here.
yeah.
Okay, well,
he corrected her on that shit too.
Okay, so I was about to say, even with that though, like you still have like your people are still from a different country and everything. Like basically, what's gonna end up happening is we would end up losing our vote, and the immigrants would end up having the vote. Like that's basically how I see that going. The immigrants would end up with the majority vote because people from like they already been putting stuff, implementing
They
stuff
gotta
to
take
give
that test to
immigrants
even
rights
come over
anyway.
here.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they already implementing stuff to where they're able to vote without like necessarily have. That was one of the things that the voter ID was about. like having different
About the
IDs.
real ID, John?
Yeah, the real, like having IDs and everything. That was part of what that was about. So the immigrants would be able to vote. So yeah, that's still a thing. That's kind of one of the things I got to consider, and that's why I wouldn't agree with it. I think if anything, we need to start focusing back in our own communities about educating people about what's really going on. That was how we used to learn about stuff. People got out. There was actually adults that was getting out, going on the corners, and talking to people about their candidate that they wanted to get voted for. Anyway, they was doing. The people was
About
doing
grassroots
education.
campaigning.
Yeah,
Yeah, my thing is,
Well, I mean,
though,
the
doing it
grass.
hard.
Well, I'm saying, but the
It's-
grassroots
that
was
was-
all people had because there wasn't no internet to where, like, if you wanted to know, you had to actually go outside
but
and
and that's
touch
one of the
earth.
things.
but I
though,
think that that's also a way that we got into groupthink because the people that were going to come were going to be the people that were going to be the liberal Democrat, and they were going to come into our neighborhoods and tell us to vote
No,
for
I'm gonna
who
tell
we
you
was.
what the biggest problem with our generation is that we have people we're not the people who want to make stuff happen. We want it just to happen for like we sitting there waiting. We're at the age now where we're supposed to be the people that get out and do the stuff. Well, I don't know why we still waiting for somebody to come along and do it, and we the ones who's supposed to do it.
Truth, truth.
Was that a call to
Hey,
action tone?
Hey, yeah, I mean it's just the truth. If
Yeah, the
you know
thing
what's
is,
right.
the thing is, because we are.
Y'all about to bring up Martin Luther Quint.
That,
Malcolm Quint is about to be
Malcolm Q.
hey, no, I think
Huey Q.
that's because we all trying to figure out how to grow
Bobby
our
Young, like it's a
followers.
bunch of them coming.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff comes down to like this idea of this entrepreneurial space. It's like everybody right now is trying to figure out how to go from 0 to 500,000 followers in
By
a
next
week.
week.
You know what I mean? We're all trying to figure out how to grow
You do
from
that by
from
buying bots.
from $500 to $1 million in 60 days. We're all looking for these like, you know what I mean? These get
Ain't
rich
no
quick
get rich
and
Well,
quick
we
scheme.
it's like
That's
the
not a
ultimate
pyramid.
microwave
And
generation.
you at the
the
bottom of
ultimate microwave
ultimate
generation.
microwave
Yes,
generation.
yes, for sure.
Nah, that was. You got anything else, Malcolm Q?
on this. I don't know.
Nah,
I
he
can rant
Oh,
about
don't let
it.
this
nah,
nigga
nah,
start.
he good. He good.
I was trying to chill
That
over
nigga
here.
pull some shit
Yeah,
out.
yeah, we done made him.
Let's go to some positive takeaways, my boy.
Yeah, we'll land the plane right there.
I can start. Let me see how I can frame this. My positive takeaway for this week is saying that it is okay to have a.
This nigga here, bro.
What?
I already can tell.
What?
I can tell.
It's okay to have like a side joint as long as your lady approves, right?
Where did I see that at recently?
I don't know, but all I know is like y'all see my shirt. And tonight I'm going to go feed my side chick.
Uh-oh.
And
You have a window seat?
right. Ain't nobody sitting next to me. I'm just out there chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to get Kiki Palmer.
Trying to go out there and get Kiki.
Yeah, like so. Hopefully, it's a seat that's close enough to the aisle. I hope I get Kiki Palmer.
Hey, make sure you tweet it's the outfit for me though.
And like I'm standing. I do
thighs
this too
out.
when I walk away.
It's the outfit. You a father.
Yeah, I'm a father.
It's the outfit for me.
Big-
But you're a dad.
I wear my gray sweatpants out there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just let her know. But yeah. But nah. I guess if I do actually wrap that inside some level of seriousness, I'd say make time to make sure that you actually do things that you enjoy and enjoy yourself. And when you can include a partner with that, I think that is also important. Where like that experiences piece, especially within relationships and in your own life. And as we get older, sometimes we are at a deficit of actually experiencing things we enjoy because we get caught up in the rigmarole of just being regular human beings. But go do some shit and enjoy yourself.
Get outside, touch earth.
Yeah.
Oh, my positive takeaway, I was at the family reunion yesterday, but it's the elders still got a vast amount of wisdom. They might not have all the information that we do, but
Wisdom don't age, my boy.
there's a lot of wisdom, there's a lot of perspective, especially like some of our black elders and the shit that they've been through and the shit that they've seen our communities go through, and they've seen a time when we might have been in a better spot and they see where we're at now. So a lot of the things and a lot of the values that they speak about, you gotta listen to them. And sometimes they might, it might not always be right about everything, but there is a lot of truth and wisdom in what the elders are saying, and especially as I get older, and I'm going from that
You about to
young
be an
buck.
elder, bro.
I'm going from that young buck to I'm not an OG. I'm just a G right now. I ain't got that O on it yet. But as we transition to that, those are gonna be the people that teach us how to go into that next phase of life gracefully. So you gotta always, listen to your elders and pick up game, when you're around them.
That was cold. That was cold. Both of those was cold. And I guess mine, and this comes from a conversation I've seen on I can't remember which. I've been gotten into watching a lot of pods lately, to kind of see how we're stacking up. But I've been hearing this question that they keep asking people is like, what is one thing that you would tell your younger self? You know what I mean? And for me, one thing, and this is like not even just for me, but it's to as the young man I was, as you know what I mean. I'm thinking about it as a young man. You have to focus on building a square so that you can stand on it. You can't stand on a square if you haven't built the square. You wanna focus on building your square so that then when you do stand, it has a foundation and some things that you can actually stand on. And I'm just gonna leave it there. That was something that kind of set in me pretty tough. After just listening to how they were answering the question.
I like that. I think that's actually really important.
No,
For sure.
I'll leave mine. Um, I say this. Changing the world is not as hard as it seems, and that's my positive takeaway. Basically, like, if you change yourself, you're changing the world
Michael
because we
Jackson.
all are part of it. So like, it's not as big of a task as it seems. Like, understand that change that you're looking for, that you keep searching for, that change may start with you. So like, and that can pass on to other people and everything. So that's what I mean when I'm saying changing the world. Like, really just starts one individual at a time. You change yourself, you're changing the people around you too. You're affecting the people around you in some type of way. So yeah, be the person you want to see in the world, or be the be the thing that you want to see in the world.
What was that Michael Jackson song? He literally said that.
Take a look at yourself and
Smooth
make
criminal.
Man in the mirror.
Criminal.
Who said? I
Yeah,
ain't
man
say
in the
that.
mirror. No, that's what he just said.
Oh no. That was that black and I don't know what it is, but I know the
Man
line.
in the world.
Yeah.
Take a
If
look
you
at
want to make
yourself.
the world a better place,
Take a look at
yourself
yourself
and
and
make a
make
change.
Change. Yeah.
Now he put the pause in.
Make
though.
a change. Yeah. Na 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 na.
Nah, nah, nah,
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Y'all done?
See, look, all us pro-blacks, we actually grew up on Michael Jackson.
Yeah, we
He was
did.
listening to Prince or something.
Yeah.
Like we was over there listening.
Computer Blue.
Michael
Little Red
Jackson was the
Corvette, all of
Bible
that.
back then. I knew
Nah, he
all
was
that before I
serious.
can say
Michael Jackson, the whole
ABC.
topic too. I could talk about that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Let's,
no, we'll save that. We'll save that. Hey, before we get out of here, I want to tell everybody like, comment, subscribe,
Yes,
hit the
sir.
notification button on
Yeah.
the side right there. Follow us on IG, TikTok, Facebook, Threads at the To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P,
Oh, area.
It's cute.
and we out.